And then when they arrive, guess what they're asked to do? They're asked to play a game. I want to put out the book. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel and this is my library. In today's video, I bring you all the awesome things that I want to read in the month of September. I love a good TBR. I know I'm not the best at sticking to my TBR, and I like to venture and mood read a little bit, but I have so much fun making TBRs. And I'm so excited to show you all the cool things that I want to read this month of September. And I am hoping that I have adjusted a little bit to back to school and that I will actually have time to read all of these books that I have on my list. I'm actually not doing terribly as of the filming of this video. We're only in the first week of September and I've already finished one book and I'm halfway through two other things. So first, let me get those out of the way. So the book that I already finished reading the first and second day of September is The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. So this is clearly on my September TBR, but I have finished reading it already. And I can't wait for the ending of the month to tell you all of my thoughts. In this, we are following a high school student whose older sister passed away a couple years prior to this book opening. And the rest of the members of the cheerleading squad have also passed away. 2 in a car accident, 2 were murdered. And so pretty much the school no longer has a cheer team, and our protagonist is a member of the dance team, and she's also trying to battle her demons and make peace with the fact that her sister is no longer with them, and she kind of becomes a little bit obsessed with trying to figure out exactly what happened to her sister. And that's what this one is all about. It's a YA mystery slash thriller, and I've already finished reading it. And that's all I'm going to tell you for now. I will tell you more of my thoughts on this book at the ending of the month. I'm also in the middle of reading The X by Frida McFadden, and I think this is carrying over from the previous month. I've honestly not been reading a lot on my Kindle because I've been so busy doing so many things that I no longer have had time to go to bed and read before bed because I'm so tired. By the time I get to bed, I'm like exhausted. So this has taken me a little longer, which is unusual for my Kindle Unlimited Frida McFadden reads. But basically in this book that I'm halfway through, we are following a main character whose boyfriend, who's a doctor, has broken up with her. He basically left her and said he didn't really have a future with her. He didn't see a future with her. And then we meet his new partner, the person that he's with, and we kind of follow her vantage point and how she meets him and how things unravel there. And so it has multiple POVs that we are following, and yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say for that one, but I am in the middle of that, and hopefully I can finish that one in the month of September as well. And the last thing that I'm halfway through, I think, maybe a little less than halfway through, is Culpability by Bruce Hossinger. And this is actually a buddy read that I am doing with my good booktube friends, Michelle from Literary Me and Dee from the Reading Room 1972. We are all reading this together. It was our August/September read, and Michelle went ahead and picked this one. It is also an Oprah's book club pick, and I'm liking it a lot so far. The premise of this basically is that we are following a couple that has 3 children, and he's a lawyer and she works dealing with artificial intelligence and their rights, if they have any, and that kind of a thing, right? So right at the beginning of the book, the 4 of them are headed on a road trip, and the son is driving and the father's in the passenger seat, and then the rest are in the back of the minivan, and they get into this terrible car accident where other people die and a lot of their family ends up in the hospital. So basically it's like a car that drives itself, like a smart car, if you will. And that's really like what the premise is all about, because then we get into conversations of like whose fault really was it, like this car accident. So I think a lot of this is going to revolve, again, I'm like maybe 35% in, okay? A lot of the conversations that this is posing have to do with like blame and how much rights, or how much credit we give to like AI and technology and the effect that these things have in our lives. And so it's going to be that kind of a thing. At first it's been a little jarring for me to read because they describe like the car accident in detail, and um the way that the bodies look and stuff like that. So, and I don't care about the gore stuff, but car accident stuff kind of like freaks me out a little bit. And I don't love that those types of conversations. But now, thankfully, I'm past that part. So I'm really liking it. And I think I'm really going to like the discourse surrounding artificial intelligence, and, who's to blame if one of these self-driving cars crashes, right? Like, I'm enjoying where that is going. So far so good. I will of course let you know more of my thoughts in our live, obviously in my end of the month wrap up, but also in our live show whenever the three of us decide that we're going to go ahead and do that. So that's the third book that I've either started reading or I'm working on or have finished for September. So now I'm going to tell you about all the other things that I'm so excited to read that I have not started yet. Okay. And guys, I'm so excited for some of these books. I can't wait to tell you. Okay. So this has been on my TBR for a really long time. This is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. So first of all, I am reading this as a part of a buddy read with my best friend Angela. She and I have our book club, and our last book, I believe, was Water Moon, and then this is what we are currently going to be working on this month. I believe she's already a little bit through, maybe halfway through. I have yet to start it, but we'll be starting this very, very soon. And this book has been on my TBR for a really long time because I knew that it had to do with like video games. Also, this author has written a book that I really liked before, The Storied Life of AJ Fikry. I loved that book. I read that years ago, like I want to say like a decade ago or something, and I've never read anything again by that author. So I'm excited to read this. The premise of this, or all I really know, is that I think it's like a love story. It's like these two friends who love each other, but they're not really like in a relationship. And they both work in the video game design world and that kind of a thing. So that's really all I know about it, but I'm just excited because it deals with like video game culture. And I think there's like a love story here. And there's, so obviously there's technology and sci-fi, which I kind of like, or I'm hoping there is. And I think this is a really popular book. So many people talk about this, and I've been wanting to read it for so long. And then my best friend kind of like wanted to start reading it on her own. And I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I want to join you because this should be one of our next picks, because I've been wanting to read it for so long. And finally now it's officially on my TBR for this month. The next book that I want to get to this month came from this card that I picked out for one of my many TBR games that that I play. So I went ahead and drew this one because I had read the last one. And this one says, choose a book which is the smallest book on your shelf. So you guys know I have a million shelves. So this is the first really, really small book that I found on my shelf, and it's something that I really wanted to read. This actually came as a recommendation from Cliff's Dark Gems, and he recommended it to me as a book that I would really enjoy as a short novella that is horror based, and that is A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck. So after he recommended this to me and I went ahead and ordered it, I've seen other booktubers that I really like. Gabby from Gabby Reads read this in one of her vlogs. And so I've been hearing more and more people talk about this, and I'm super intrigued. I love that it deals with existentialist thoughts, or existentialism. That's actually something that I teach in my AP Lit class. So I'm wondering now, like, I could maybe introduce this book as an option. So I have to obviously read it and see if it's good for that. But basically in this, we are following a man who's of Mormon faith, and he believes that when he dies, he will get to paradise and meet God and, all these things. But when he dies, he gets to a world that's very foreign from the concept that he had of heaven, right? And God is very different from the God that he thought he would see, right? And he thought he'd be reunited with his loved ones, and none of that really happens. So basically, he's in this form of hell, and they say it's like a library, and he has to find the book that has his life story in it. And that's really all I know about it, and all I want to know, because it's super short. And I'm so excited for this. I love books about libraries and such. It kind of reminds me of like a Borges short story. Jorge Luis Borges has a short story that also takes place in a library, and I'm hoping it's something like that. If that's what this ends up being, I'm going to be very excited. But yeah, I've heard lots of people talking about this lately, and I cannot wait to read this month. So the next thing on my list came to my TBR because of the blurb game. And so something that I read this past month of August was blurbed by the author of this book, Ellery Lloyd, and that book is People Like Her. So, first of all, I'm a little bit hesitant because I have read from Ellery Lloyd before, and I have not loved what I've read. I think one of the books that I read was called The Club, and I really did not like it. It was a thriller about these people who go to a resort, like a rich people resort or something. And I was so bummed about that book because the premise sounded so good, and I ended up not liking it. But here I am. I'm gonna give Ellery Lloyd another shot. So this one is called People Like Her, and I believe we are following a mom who's like an Instagram mom, like she's on Momgram or whatever, Mom Talk or something, and she's like a popular, influencer or whatnot. And then the book has to do with like how her fame in the social media world is like impacting or affecting her relationship with her husband. And then I think there's something about like a person like reaching out to her or talking to her, maybe stalking her, something like that. So I know this is like a thriller. I do like books that involve like influencers or like the internet world and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that I will go ahead and enjoy this one more than I did the other Ellery Lloyd book that I read. I haven't really heard too many people talking about this. This was an old book of the month pick. This is from 2020. So this has been sitting on my shelves for 5 years because I got it when it was released. So it's been there for 5 years. I haven't read it. These books, though, sometimes they're timely. The timeliness is important. When it's a book that deals with technology or social media, like you want to read those, like, because I think they become like dated very quickly. So hopefully it's not dated, and hopefully I enjoy it. If you have read it, let me know. I'd love to hear if you liked it. But I don't have very high expectations for this one, but I'm hoping it'll be good. The next thing on my list is my Christie for the month. Last month I did read my Christie. So I'm hoping I get to this month's, and this month's is The Pale Horse by Agatha Christie. And all I really know about this one is that we are following the murder of a priest. Like a priest has been found murdered, and his body was like ransacked, I think. And they like ripped his clothing, searching for something. And so obviously they're trying to figure out who killed the priest. And in addition to that, apparently right before he died, someone made like a confession to the priest. Like there was a woman who confessed like something big to the priest, and that could possibly be connected to the reason why the priest was murdered. And I know it's not a Poirot, and I know that it's not a Miss Marple either. So I think it says here Mark Easterbrook and his sidekick Ginger Corrigan are determined to find out. So we have two other detectives in this one, and I really haven't heard much about this one. I mean, I know it exists, obviously. I know all the Christies, but I don't remember if I've heard people talk about it or not, or what they've said. But I'm excited to get to it. It seems like a shorter one as well. I mean, it's only like 230 pages, so it's not a super long one. So I hope I can get to it this month. Okay, guys, so this book, I am so excited to get to this. And I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you how excited I am. I think I'm reading this for Gabby's book club, the book troop. I think this is a book troop pick. I can't tell you how excited I am to read this. I don't have words. I'm just going to show you this. So first of all, look at these sprayed edges, right? Like, what? They're like bloody teeth, right? I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. This, guys, I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered this because the moment that I found that this existed, that this was going to be released, I read the synopsis and I had to have it. I said, oh my gosh, this is going to be as good as You're Fatally Invited and all these books that lately have been coming out that I am obsessed with. I have the highest of hopes for this. I don't think you understand. Um, so basically, let me tell you why I'm thinking of You're Fatally Invited, right? So we are basically following 7 authors, right, that have been invited to this manor, like some spooky manor. And there's this legendary author, like a horror author, that passes away. And then the group of 7 authors is invited for the reading of his will or her will. No, I'm not sure. His will. Again, guys, an inheritance trope. Authors invited mysteriously to this castle manor thing. I mean, it's just checking all the boxes, right? It's everything that I love, right? It gets better. How is this possible? Then it says that they all have a connection to the author. We don't know what it is, right? The individuals. And then when they arrive, guess what they're asked to do? They're asked to play a game. I want to put out the book. They're asked to play a game, and they have to play a game to escape a room and go to the next room of the house, and then solve something there to go to the next room. So it's like an escape room. Guys, like, I feel like everything that this book has is checking off all of my favorite tropes in books, like everything that I love. People brought together by a mysterious person. Now they're forced to play a game, high stakes game where some of them might die. I can't. I can't. And that's what this book is about. And I don't want to keep reading because that's like halfway through the little blurb. And I don't want to read more because this could be another favorite book. I'm so excited. Maybe this will challenge You Are Fatally Invited for my favorite book of the year. So I'm so stoked for this. I haven't seen any reviews. I'm purposely avoiding reviews of this. I'm not looking at Goodreads to see what it's rated. Obviously, once I immediately start reading it and I put, reading, I will see that average, but I don't want to see anything. I don't want to know anything because I have such high expectations for this. Yeah, I'm so excited. I will get to it this month. I'm going to prioritize that one. Next. I'm so excited for this. This is 2 for 1. So this I am reading because of the Books and Lala book club, the Literally Dead book club. And this is her pick for this month, right? Because she's a big fan of this author, as am I. And this is a 2 for 1 because it is Killer on the Road and The Babysitter Lives by Stephen Graham Jones. So 2 for 1. And you guys already know how much I love Stephen Graham Jones. You guys know that I met Stephen Graham Jones last month, I think. So I actually took my copy of the book and he went ahead and signed it for me. He says, Isabel, wow, thank you for reading The Indigo Room. As he was signing, he was talking to me and I gave him like 4 or 5 of my books to sign and he wrote like unique little things on all of them. And I was so happy about that. And notice it's with green pen because there's like green here. He has his little different colored pens and he signs them with like the different colors. But I had told him that I had just finished that morning reading The Indigo Room and I told him, oh, I really liked it. And I was talking to him about it. And so he like wrote that on there. He's so special. All right, so let me tell you what Killer on the Road is about. So basically in this, we are following a young girl who wants to run away. Yeah, her name is Harper. 18-year-old Harper's running away. And her friends, like a group of her friends, intercept her in her trying to run away and hitch a ride with someone. and they tell her stop, like you're not going to run away, you're not doing this. And then they go like on a road trip with her, but little do they know that she's being stalked by this serial killer who is now following not just Harper but everyone else like in the car to like find them and I guess kill them. I don't know. But yeah, so this is one of those on the road. That's a trope that I love. I love a good book that's like in the car and it's like involving a serial killer. That's a trope that I really like. I remember that Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I know people don't like that book. And I believe in my ranking of Riley Sager books, which is up on my channel. If you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and tag it so you can watch it. But I talk about how I really enjoyed that book, Survive the Night, because I really do like that element of being on the road and like in a car and like you might be trapped with the serial killer, the serial killer's outside. I really love books like in cars, kind of a thing. Same thing with, I'm thinking of Ending Things, that they're for a long time on that road trip in a car and things start to get weird. Like I love those vibes. So this is very promising. And then the other one is The Babysitter Lives. And supposedly this one is about a babysitter who's babysitting this little kid, and it's the night before Halloween. So I already love that this is taking place in Halloween. It's so fun. And so she just wants to put the babysitter, she just wants to put the kid to bed so she can study for her SATs. She's filling out her college applications. She's, you know, very busy doing all these things. But then things start to get like a little weird. And I'm not sure if it's within or without. Like, I'm not really sure, you know, what the source of the danger is for this one. Again, I don't want to know too much. I don't think I've read more than that, and I don't want to. So I don't know if it's a supernatural thing, if it's something in the house with them. I'm not sure. But the point is that it's a good old fashioned like babysitting story, which I love. Like, I'm a big fan of that trope too. So hopefully I can get to both of these this month. And I just love the mashup of this, like the way that this was created. You know, I don't know, I love everything about it, and I love Stephen Graham Jones. I just know I'm gonna have to, if it's anything like his other books, which, you know, I'm sure it is, like his writing takes a little bit of time to get through. Like, it's very complex sentences, depth, that kind of a thing. So I'm gonna have to, you know, carve out some good time for that one. And speaking of carving out time, I'm gonna get to my last book on my TBR. And this is another one of those books that I think takes a while. I think this one takes a while to read. So this has been on my TBR for so long. I'm finally going to read this, and my hopes are so high for this, guys. Like, this book is another one of those that as soon as I found out about it, I bought. I've heard great things. I think recently, actually, I was talking to my friend D from the Reading Room 1972, and he said he read it and enjoyed it. So I think he's a fan of this author, actually. So I've been wanting to read this forever, but I think this is going to take me a long time. This is one of those that I think is not a super fast read. So I'm going to have to do some managing of my time. But that book is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. So I've heard great things about this. Like, the majority of the people that I know who have read this have really enjoyed it. And it has, again, quite a few tropes that I really, really like. So basically, a group of people are gathered around, and this woman, Evelyn Hardcastle, is murdered at 11 p.m., right? Like, she's dead. And now it says there are 8 days and 8 witnesses for you to inhabit, because apparently the main character wakes up in the different bodies of the guests at this event, and he's going to see the murder happen from that character's perspective, from the different people's perspective, to kind of get clues to kind of help him figure out what happened. And so it says, we will only let you escape once you tell us the name of the killer. Understood? Let's begin. So this has various things that I like. It has a Groundhog Day kind of thing going on, which I really enjoy. There's something about that repetition that I like in like movies, and I also really like when we see like the same events unfold from different vantage points or perspectives, which is what's happening here. I just recently really enjoyed watching that movie Weapons. If you guys have seen Weapons, first of all, I did really enjoy it. I'm one of those that really liked it, but I really liked how that movie has the same kind of event happening, but as you switch from character to character, we start to see their vantage point of that event. So I love how they did that, and I think this is going to be something similar to that. And I don't find it repetitive. I don't find it boring. Like I like it because I feel like every with each reread, right, or reliving of that event, I'm gaining more information, and it's just so cool to see how different people's perspectives can be of one event. And yeah, that's really all I know about it. I don't want to know more. I do love that this says pop your favorite Agatha Christie whodunit into a blender with a scoop of Downton Abbey and a dash of Quantum Leap and a liberal sprinkling of Groundhog Day, and you'll get this unique murder mystery. I love all of those things. Every single one of those things that they blurbed, I love. So that's a mashup of all of those things into this one book. So I've wanted to read this forever. I know it's lengthy. I think it's going to be a while. Have you read this? Let me know. And not just this, but like all of this. Have you guys read any of these books? Like, how do you feel about them? Do you think I'm going to like them? I'm always excited for my TBRs. I really am, but I'm super excited for this TBR. Like all the books have something that is making me really excited. And the only thing I'm not excited for is that time is limited. And I know I'm not going to be able to read all of them because that's the way it works, but I know I'll get to them eventually. But it just feels so nice at the beginning of the month to get excited about all these books. And I'm sure I will read other things and I'm sure I won't finish all of them, but I'm just happy because whatever I finish from this stack of books, like I know I'm gonna like because everything sounds like it's made for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me for this video. If you were still watching with me up until this point, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here and spending a little bit of your time listening to all my reading plans for September. What are your reading plans for September? Are you reading anything fun or exciting? Are you participating in any of these challenges or book clubs that I'm also participating in? And I would love to talk to you in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed yet, if you enjoyed this content. And thank you so much, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.